What's up, good people? This your boy I work Geo, and being consistent is just impossible. I'm gonna be real with you. Point of this video is to definitely be optimistic. I'm not looking to speak, negativity into my channel, but it's definitely a perspective that I want to break down to you. And I promise you, I'm saying, the glass is half full. Just stay tuned, I'm saying, and just let me explain where I'm coming from. So the idea, the concept of being consistent, I think it's out the window. I think it's an illusion. A lot of us, we misunderstand what it actually means to be consistent, because it's not the traditional, I guess, concept that we think of it as every day in, day out, do what got to be done, even if you don't feel like it. Consistency is just not falling off. We think literally every day, every second, every possible opportunity, it's about executing, right? But I'm going to be real. We're human beings. We have feelings. We have good days, bad days. We'll say on and off days. We have times where we lose focus. We get distracted. We have families. A lot of us are just doing things that adults have to do. So we don't always have an opportunity to maybe be consistent in a traditional sense. But what I think the focus should be on at the end of the day, man, is to be persistent. And see, the difference is like with consistency, you feel like, okay, if I mess up, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I messed up being consistent. And that's the perception that I think messes us up, because being persistent is having a roadblock. In order to be persistent, you got to have this thing that kind of like threw you off. You know what I mean? And to get back on when you fall off is being persistent. It's not giving in and giving up. And I think that's the key for us unlocking that next, part of what it is we doing on our journeys. Everybody respectfully who watch this channel got their own journey. You know what I mean? Whether you're a creative, whether you're into business and on whatever level, whatever it is you do, music, TV, acting, whatever, movies, it don't matter. The idea is when you thinking outside of this box we in, and when you pursuing something just to even be a better human being, you're going to have times where you're probably not that traditional consistent. You know what I mean? The one that we hear about and we see people push, all the time is about being consistent, doing when you don't feel like it. That's the only way you become successful. What they don't talk about is being persistent, and how it's more important that when life happens, because it definitely does. You know what I mean? What do you do when you in the moments of it not being the way that you probably originally pictured it being? That's where a lot of us lose focus. We get discouraged and we feel like, man, I messed up already. And that's almost like our green light opportunity to just fall all the way off the deep end. Prime example, we go out to a nice dinner. We've been eating healthy all week. You eat that dinner, you like, man, I done broke my diet. So then the next day you like, man, I done already messed up yesterday. So now you mess up that second day. That second day become 3, 4, 5 days. Now you a week in and you like, man, start next week. That's when that startup, you know what I mean? That's when the man start next week, or starting top of the next month. I'm man, on the first, I'm doing this. And then by the time you know it, man, my New Year's resolution is to get locked back in. But Lord forbid you had that one bad day that you had way back when that threw you off. Run across another bad day in the future. Now you back in that position that puts you where you was, where you fell off that first time. And see, the thing is, we also at a point now where it's like no point, at a point of no return. We at a point now where it's like harder to go back to our old ways or go back to the beginning, because, again, been on your journey, been on your path, been got, kicked down several times, got back up, whatever the case is. You went through so much on that journey, getting from A to N, you know what I mean? A to N, and now N all the way to the end of the alphabet. I don't know. I'm just thinking of a halfway point, and I'm using the alphabet right now. So you get what I'm saying? From A to whatever's halfway through the alphabet, and then you got that second half, that second stretch. A lot of us give up and give in and turn back, when really it's harder to turn back, because it's like one of them fantasy movies, you know what I mean? They go on this journey. Think about The Wizard of Oz. You go on the Yellow Brick Road. You think of all them different things that happened to Dorothy and everybody that was with her. They went through so much and they finally got, to the Wizard of Oz. But think about it, if they got halfway through all of that, where they dealt with the crows and the evil witch and just all these different things. I'm just naming stuff that I could think of, whatever they dealt with. Imagine like that second half, which I think it was a whole lot more pleasant. Imagine if they would have turned around when they had already dealt with all of that craziness and that madness and gave up and gave in and didn't see what the other half of that was. That's what I feel like it is at this point, because we pay so many dues and put in so much work, time, and effort. You can't get your time back. So you got to understand that work you put in counts for something. Even if you was consistent for 2 weeks, fell off, whatever that might be, get back consistent that next day. The goal is to quickly get back on it, because the quicker you get back on it, the more that ratio works in your favor, where they, like 80-20, for example, because you want to have more good days than bad days. So let's just say, I'm saying 80% of the time you be on it, that 20% of the time you fall off. If somehow that threshold change and it's 70-30, I'm saying 60-40, start realizing that the goal is never to be upside down, where you putting in more negative off time and whatever come with that than the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? You always want that balance to where it's like, man, I'm making progress. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's 49-51, I know that's pretty pathetic, but I'm gonna be real. Like, it's progress. It's 1% progress every day. That mentality, that mindset is what I think is important for us to get through these day-to-day, obstacles, man, these hurdles, these moments where it's not clear, where, things come up and you don't expect it, but you got to be able to shake it off. You got to be able to adjust, adapt, and just keep your eye on what's important, because you will have moments where you can't be that traditional consistent. I had All right, so the hate is real, man. Battery just went out on me. But yeah, for the most part, man, that's really what I'm getting at. It's just about that ratio working in your favor, and being sure that you put yourself in a position to win, but life does happen. We get distracted. It's a lot of obstacles out here, a lot of things taking our attention, getting distracted by just life in general. So if you can do your best, man, to just stay persistent, get back on that horse, even when you fall off. It's about what you can do with that fall off. Are you going to learn from it and just know, okay, I'm going to push a little harder the next time? Or are you going to allow that to be the starting point to your fall off, to where it's even harder to get back on that horse? Because if you fall off the horse and then you turn around and you walk away from the horse, now you got to get back to the horse just to be able to get back on it, versus falling off, staying where you at from where you fell off and hopping right back on it and getting right back to it. That look a whole lot better, because we will fall off. That's the thing. See, don't think that you have to be the person that stays on the horse the whole time. It's about falling off, getting back on, though. Like that bull thing that, what I'm saying, people be on, like, you might need 3 attempts before you finally get it. That first one, when you fall off, get right back on it, though. And then try it again. And then that next time you might go a little longer before you fall off. And then that last time, you got the whole thing under control. You know what I'm saying? And you go the entire time and make it the time limit you supposed to, or however it's going to go. You stay on it, though, and you ride the course. You get through it. That's where we need to be, because the other opposite side of that is allowing it to consume you, or just staying stagnant and not making real progress, because you're not real with the reality that, man, look, as a human being, we're going to have those days. Even when you fired up inside and want something bad enough to where it's like, man, I got to do this. There's times where it's just not going to be possible for that day, for that week, so forth. It's going to be times where your original plan that you might have really truly wanted to see play out the way you had it all painted, and it's not going to go that way. So the key is, what do you do with that? What do you do with them cards you get dealt? Can you stay persistent? Can you stay tenacious and be like, man, look, I'm gonna just keep going. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no quitter. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna give it my all. That's what it counts for anything. You know what I'm saying? It's the moments where you face the adversity and you get around it. So, my battery hating on me. I think I gotta charge it, running out of space on the camera. So I'm gonna take care of all of that. But I do appreciate you giving me a few minutes of your time, man. I definitely want this video to plant a seed with you and help you, with your growth process and all the other good stuff, man. So again, shout out to all my good people, I'm saying, my coworkers out there putting in work, and definitely stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't had a chance to do that, but only do it if you really connect with the message and you understand what's going on over here. It will help the algorithm recognize the content so I can keep building. But till then, I'll holler at you, man. It's work.